A leftist is forcibly removed from stage in a fit or meltdown of sorts after Charlie Kirk completely smokes him while discussing this pervasive gender ideology that we just can't stop hearing about in our American institutions, be it the media, education, or what have you. Guys, this is gonna be a good video. I think you're gonna enjoy it, and we're gonna get right into it. But first, please make sure you like our video, share it around, and subscribe to the Resist the Mainstream YouTube channel. You keep the subscriptions coming, we can keep the videos pumping out. So thank you guys, and we really appreciate it. As always, I'm your host, Darian, and let's get into the clip.
I'm a moral anti-realist, so the point of that is that you can't, like, as long as it's someone's choice. I think you need to wait until you're 18 probably to do a lot of gender affirming surgeries, but things like puberty blockers are actually really helpful because they can be reversed later on in life.
Get the hell out of here.
So you realize that's a chemical castration of children, right?
You can avoid that. That doesn't happen. They're safe. They've been used since the 70s to help people through who are having stressful periods.
Yeah, that's not true.
That is true.
You can't press pause on puberty. The amount of
that's the purpose of the drug. That is the purpose of the drug.
Yeah. So then why would there be 30,000 people that regret transitioning and want to detransition that we know of, and that list growing in great numbers? And how do you explain suicide rates going up 7 to 8 years after the boost of testosterone, when young people, they get Lupron, they get puberty blockers, then 7, 8 years later, the suicide rates go up dramatically? How do you explain that?
I know what you're referring to. That has to do with people being forced to detransition and the social pressure that occurs as a result of it. The problem with trans suicidality,
there's never been more transgender propaganda in the history of the species. You can't walk into a Starbucks without seeing, you see the trans flag more than the American flag. What social pressure is there on a trans person?
It's really different where I grew up.
So fun fact about Lupron that Charlie had just mentioned. That drug is actually routinely given to convicted rapists in many states for 2 reasons. A, to punish them. B, to prevent them from, in theory at least, doing that crime again. So that's what we're giving to kids, and we're gonna say, oh, it's just a pause button? No, that's chemical castration. Let's not let these goons mince words about what this really is, because we need to talk about how horrible these evils are in no uncertain terms. I'm so sick of the false premises and silly language we use to dance around it. No, this is mutilation, it's chemical castration, and that is not an exaggeration to say. It's just reality. It's no different from saying the sky is blue.
What do you think determines reality? Okay, so your friends have been attacked?
Because of their identities.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So, do I create a mass movement trying to tell people to feel sorry for me all the time?
Yeah, because, I mean, sure, if you want to feel people be sorry for you, I don't want your friends to get hurt.
Nor do I want your friends to get hurt.
But your rhetoric encourages that.
No, hold on. Hold on. The best way, okay, all right, okay. The best way to help people, let me just, I think, maybe we can find some agreement here. A general rule for life. Do you think the best way to help people, if you know, hold on, put the mic up in a second. It's the best way to help people to lie to them or tell them the truth?
You need to tell them the truth.
I agree. We should tell young boys that are suffering from gender dysphoria or young girls that are suffering from gender dysphoria that you're not going into an operating room, and we love you enough to tell you the truth to get you back into alignment on how God created you. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you. Nope, next question. Thank you.
Do you like Joe Biden?
Yeah, thank you.
Joe Biden with these nuts!
Thanks for being here. The tolerant left strikes again.
That fool got dragged out. That was pretty funny to see. Hang tight, everybody, because we have a great Charlie Kirk clip about the same kind of topic coming for you right here in a second. I really like Charlie's point about how we need to hold up the truth no matter what, and that it's the moral, and compassionate thing to do. It's so true. And let's be real for a second here. What's considered true by the mainstream is not even close to reality. And I blame that largely on conservatives, believe it or not, because I think they're too chicken to express their opinions in public. Let me give you an example. There's been such an Overton window shift in terms of this trans agenda. Overton window meaning the window of acceptable beliefs and what you can talk about, and also how people perceive things. For instance, The Independent literally just 2 days ago put out an article. During Pride Month, over 7 anti-trans bills have been passed. Oh, anti-trans bills during Pride Month. Oh, the horror. Oh, they hate gay people. They hate transgenders. They're so evil, these right-wingers. Now, what are the anti-trans bills in question? Well, let's take a look, okay? Look, check this out. Over the last 3 years, a wave of legislation that scales back protections for transgender youth. Notice that term, first of all, transgender youth. What does that mean? That means a child who's been abused by groomers into believing that they are not the sex that they were born with. Okay, so that's what a transgender youth means. Let's not play around and pretend like it's anything different. What are some of these bills? On June 3rd, Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry signed a transgender athlete bill into law, making it the 18th state to do so. Transgender athlete ban? What a stupid, false term. They're not banning anybody who thinks they're transgender, whatever that means. They're just saying, men, you can't play in women's sports. Okay, that's literally all that is. And it shouldn't be controversial. It shouldn't even be a discussion. And we shouldn't even have to pass a law to ban that. This should just be something that people inherently understand because they're decent. But I know that's lacking nowadays in America. So too bad, I guess. Let's keep going here. I don't want any of these groomer teachers telling children that they're a pronoun that they're not anyways. You got he for boys and her for girls. That's it. End of debate. Oh, looky here, another transgender athlete ban. Oh, how horrible. These evil, racist, terrible Republicans and conservatives. We already explained that above. We're literally just saying men don't play in women's sports. That's it. You're not banning anyone. So that's ridiculous. Oh, and look at this. Ohio House of Representatives passed an anti-trans bathroom bill. Wow, so you mean male predators can't go into the restroom with women? How terrible, how horrible. Oh, they're such bigots. And here we have the Texas Supreme Court, which upheld a state law that bans gender-affirming care for minors. Well, I think my point was made there. Let's go take a look at some more of what Charlie has to say about this insane transgender agenda.
Hearing Charlie, people are very nervous about Caitlyn Jenner running for governor in California. Caitlyn Jenner is basically saying, look, I'm for small government. I'm trying to get out of the way of business. This isn't really about my identity. It's about the issues that are plaguing California. And that seems to be upsetting a lot of people, as Leslie points out, even on both sides.
Yeah, I think that's probably right for a lot of people in California. And, I'm probably going to come down on the side that Leslie wants me to come down on, which I'm not a huge fan of the Republican Party getting behind Caitlyn Jenner.
Because?
And here's why is that, look, I represent a viewpoint held by probably more than half the country that biological standards matter, and that the things that Leslie talks about as being anti-trans pieces of legislation, I'd call them pro-science, and even more importantly, protecting female sports, like what we saw in Alabama or in Arkansas where they overrode the governor's veto. Let me say I've met Jenner, very nice person, and I think that Jenner really believes in conservative values to an extent. However, I represent a viewpoint that millions of other Americans hold, which is that who are we as Republicans? Are we just always going to try to be the first to try to get to something? Or are we going to sometimes make the more difficult argument, take all the arrows and the criticism and say these are deeply held beliefs, and that, I wish Jenner the best, and I think the left obviously is exposing some of their hypocrisy in their treatment of Jenner, but I'm going to make the unpopular argument when it's rooted in truth. Look, it's a complicated topic, but, as the Republican Party continues to try to find its soul, I think it's very important that we're clear about who represents our party, especially in a widely covered, publicized governor's race in California. So that's why I'm going to continue to take the position I take.
Yeah. Okay. We will see what happens. That's the great thing about politics and about democracy. There's going to be a runoff election. It's probably going to happen in September. There'll be other people who throw their name into the ring here, and everybody gets a fair shot at it. And that's what makes it a great country. Charlie, thank you. Leslie, thank you. Good to see you both.
Amen. All great points by Charlie there. I found it ridiculous when so many conservatives and Republicans were getting all excited. Oh, yeah, Caitlyn Jenner's running. This is great. We're going to prove the left are the real transphobes. It's so cringe and dumb. And, I think more and more conservatives are waking up to that kind of garbage and seeing it for what it is. At the end of the day, Caitlyn Jenner, I'm sure he's a nice guy or whatever, cool. He still doesn't believe in the fundamental differences between man and woman, okay? He himself thinks that he should be able to use the woman's restroom. I'm sure of it. So the idea of conservatives even getting behind him is completely ludicrous. It makes no sense. And some will say, whoa, he's not a minor, so it's okay. No. There's man and woman. That's it. Doesn't matter if you're 16, 17, 18, or 47. There's objective reality and we need to stick to it. Well, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, comment below. Let us know what you liked, what you want to see next, and we'll see you guys again soon. Thanks, and God bless.